Another thing he said that I don't have to tell my dad that once I have the kids, it will be on a low low for the two of us. My dad does not have to know that I have any kids. None of my friends have to know. Hey people, my name is Destiny and welcome to my channel. Today's video is a get ready with me story time video. So we're going to talk and then I'm going to make my face up like this. Okay, so that's what today's video is. So with that all said, let's get into this video. Pim. Okay guys, so I've done my brows off camera, so let's just go straight to this whole thing. I'm using my ColourPop All Stars face primer. So that you forget the whole story, I'm going to tell you guys from the beginning. I'm going to tell you guys from the beginning. So I met him when I was like 16 and I met him through my dad. What happened is that when I was much younger, my dad was the one that usually take us to the clinic. So how I met this guy was, let's just say this guy's name is James, okay? That's not his real name, obviously. When I go to the clinic, my dad will just drop me off at the clinic and then come back for me later when I'm done. It's safe, guys. It's safe, so don't feel. But after some time, my dad found this habit of asking this James to come and pick me. James was more like a junior worker to him at the office. So we asked him to pick me up and bring me to him. I'm using the Eager and Esther foundation. I have to use this foundation. Guys, you see, he's not pumping from day one. So that was how I met this guy. For the longest time, he was the one coming to pick me up. So whenever I'm at the clinic, my dad would just like, I call my dad from the clinic and like, I'm done. And my dad was like, next thing is that my dad will send him to pick me up. So with that, we started getting close. We started talking. I'm not going to color correct today because I'm really not going anywhere. I just want to do my makeup to film video. So that's why we're doing this. So we're skipping color correcting today. We're going for a very, well, you guys know that I like natural look. Anyway, so now, and this goes on like him coming to pick me up from the clinic goes on for like 3 years. So I saw him on a very regular basis sometimes because I was like, and you guys know that when you're at that age, at 16, you feel like you know the world. You're very curious, which is, at least that was me. I was very curious and I started becoming fond of him. So I always look forward to go to the clinic and meet him. Sometimes, guys, nothing good they do me. I could just carry myself go clinic so that I can see him. So fast forward, I'm beginning to grow into my young womanhood. I went to school. I got to the university. While I was in the university, we still keep in touch. We still talk and all that. Guys, I know I'm terrible at storytelling, but I'm trying, guys. While I was in university, he got engaged and was getting married, and I was like, my dreams were shattered because I was beginning having. Then I started having crush on him. I really like him, but because he hadn't asked me out, I ain't gonna say like this camera. You gonna do me like this? Okay. So because he had not asked me out officially, but we're talking most of the time and all that. I think at then I should be like 20. I already realized that this was just a phase. It will pass. This shall pass too. So I was like, oh, happy for him. And my dad knew that we were close. So my dad too told me like, Mr. James is getting married, and I was like, yeah, he told me. My dad was like, he told you, and he gave me the side eye. Anyway, that's aside. After some time, like there was no wedding. They called off the wedding, and I was so curious. I was like, And I asked him, I was like, what happened? Yada yada yada. He didn't want to talk about it. So I was like, okay. Oh. And me, I'm that type of person that even till now, if I press for something and you're not ready to talk about it, I just let you be. That's who I am. So apart from my husband, he's the one I'll push down his throat. So I like I just let it slide, cha. This one I'm telling you guys, the wedding card was printed, everything was already done. Let me not move too much so I don't go out of focus. Okay. Everything was already set, and I think like 3 weeks into the wedding was called off. So him not telling me, I was just like, okay, we'll move on. Few months later, we were talking, and he told me that they are transferring him to another place. Mind you, my dad was already getting ready to retire. So by the time they transferred him to another state, I wasn't really seeing him that much, and we're not. I just felt the whole relationship just eventually slowly fade off on his own without even trying to fade it. So we weren't talking like before, and that was it. He told me, so we talk once in a while and all that. So fast forward 2 years later, we're talking. This time around, I was already done with school. He just called me out of the blues. We were talking, and he was like, it's been a while. He missed me, yada yada yada. Because we haven't talked for like almost a year or 2 years at this time. I don't know what just happened, but we're not talking like before again. He was like, oh, he misses me. That that he has been transferred to Lagos. Now he knows I've always wanted to move to Lagos. I was like, yeah, that I'm even planning to move to Lagos at that time. I was like, cool. So he said, when I'm in Lagos, I should call him. I was like, sure. He's somebody, like, I've not seen him for years, so I was super excited. So I said, okay. I said, okay, I'll call him whenever I'm in Lagos. So immediately I got into Lagos, I called him. I was like, yo, Mr. James, I'm around. And he was like, hey, my baby girl. He called me baby girl or daddy's girl. That's what he calls me. So I was like, yo, I was super excited to see him again after all these years. Oh, guys, I didn't tell you guys. I used my LA Girl Pro Concealer in front. So I'm using my LA Girl powder in warm honey to set it first. So when I called him, I was like, he was at work. That when he's done from work, he'll call me. So we'll meet up. I was like, sure. And it happened. So when he was about leaving the office, he called me like he's about leaving the office if I could start coming. And I was like, sure. And we met up. It was really nice seeing him again and all that. We're very happy to see each other. That's the word. But as we were talking, he was making passes, and I did not understand because I didn't even know he liked me that way. Even though we were close, I kind of have an idea he liked me that way, but I just felt that water don't pass bridge. We shouldn't be talking about it based on both of us. We've moved on with our lives. So it was like, oh, that he misses me, that it's been a while, that what happened, we stopped keeping in touch. And I was like, life happens. And he was asking me, do I have a boyfriend? And I was like, sure. Now I was done with school. So I was like, sure, I do have a boyfriend. He was like, wow, look at my little girl. You know that those things, it's a Nigerian thing that once you see, they're like, oh, you've grown up. Look at my little girl that grew up before my eyes. Yes, he did all that. And it was okay. We we talk, rah. But the way he was talking that day, I was just looking at him like, Uncle, speak what's on your mind. Because I was just making passes like, oh, that I wish he acted on how he felt about me, that he really, really likes me, that I'm a smart young woman, yada, yada, yada. And I was like, okay. But at this moment, I didn't really dig him like that way. But I was just like, okay. But I am this type of person that I like. I'm using my, let me show it because I'm using my Maybelline Fits Me setting powder just to brighten my under eye. I'm just whipping it in. So I was just like, okay. And they were like, the only reason he didn't say anything was because of my dad. And I was like, my dad, okay. He was like, he knew if he had done anything or said anything to me, I would have told my dad. And I was like, yeah, because back then I was really close to my dad like that. Like, we're close, that we could talk about almost anything. Myself and my dad would talk relationship matter and he knows. So like you would have told your dad and all that. I was like, okay. And he just keep going on about it. I'll just laugh. You know those talk now. We're just talking and laughing and all that. So the meeting ended. The other day again, we met up again and we're talking. And the next thing, he went on and on and how I was like, "Ah, this guy, this your coming back is come and date." And I was asking him, and then I just wanted to pry to really know what, being the nosy girl that I am, I just wanted to know what happened between him and his ex fiance. What really happened to that marriage plan that didn't go through? And I was asking him, like, what happened? And I was asking him, what happened? Was it your fault? Did you do anything? And he was not saying anything. I was like, did you cheat? Did she cheat? Yada yada. He's still not saying anything to me. And I was like, oh, this guy that is talking, going on relationship on me. I ain't going to have no relationship with you when I don't know what happened to your last good one that I know of. And I asked him if he has a girlfriend in Lagos. He said no. Which also raised an eyebrow for me. I was like, for this old Lagos, when babes hot. You guys know what I'm talking about. When there are hot babes everywhere. You say you not get babe. Anyway, I was I said okay. And the next thing he was just going on how he felt things would have been different if he had taken a chance on us. I really like me, like my family, like and all that. How my dad is his favorite boss. Just talking out of the blue. And the next thing this young man asked me was, will I have his children? No, okay, first he asked me that. This was the second meeting, guys. And he asked me if I am serious about my boyfriend. And I was like, yeah, we're pretty serious. Like, we're good. I said myself and my boyfriend were good, but if you have something, because it keep, I'm using my LA girl, like I'm using a lot of LA girl powder today. I'm using my LA girl pro face powder in chestnut to bronze and contour my face. It has this really orangey look, and I like the way it look on me. I don't contour anymore, guys. This is what I do. So it was like, um, so if I was like, sure, well, good. But the way he was talking, like he had something to say and he's not saying it, and it was already irritating because he kept going with that kind, like, if it were not my dad, if it were not my dad, things would have been different between the two of us. Yeah, and I was like, dude, if you have something to say, go ahead, spit it out, and let's get it out of the way. Let's talk. Let's even know if you know you like me that way. Say it. Let's know if it's something we'll do, or if something we are like, you know what, let's just keep this our friendship where it is. It's okay like that. Than you just beating around the bush. I was already over with. Oh, things would have been different if not for your dad. Yeah, I like, guy, move on. So he then asked me that I was asking him that, is it that you are asking me out? He was like, not really. And I was like, guys, you know when a guy said not really and is that like he's saying all the words like he's asking you out and he's not telling you, you are asking him, are you asking me? Because I am that blunt that if I see that you're beating around the bush, I'll just go like, you know what, yo, what are we doing? Like, I like defining relationship when I'm having relationship. So him going around the bush, I was just like, yo, I don't want to give anybody any notion that or any um signs to make him feel like, oh, we're dating and we're not dating. And I'm not that girl that I put labels on everything. So I was like, are you asking me out or what? It was like, not really. I was like, "Ah, is this guy okay?" Because I just felt because he was way older than me, obviously. But I also felt that he's that age where pressure is on him to get married. So maybe he's just looking for somebody he already knows that he will just get married to and then chill. But for me at that time, marriage was not even on my own radar. Like, guys, marriage was not on my radar at all at that time. So I was like, are you asking me out or something? It was like, no. I was like, I was like, so what are you not saying? The next thing he said was, who wants me to be the mother of his children. I'm like, so what are you saying? Are you asking me to marry you? He was like, no. He just went straight to me like, no, I'm not asking you to marry me. And I was like, oh, Benny, what is happening? I was just confused. Like, I didn't really understand what he was saying. I was like, what are you saying? He was like, he likes me. He he knows I'm from a good family and all that. He just keep beating around the bush, and I was like, I heard like, Mr. James, say what you want to say. I'm not gonna chop you. Just say it. Like, I did not understand what he was saying. He was saying something, but I was not getting it, guys. He went on to say, you're from a good family. I like your family. You're well brought up. You're beautiful. I want you to have my children. And I was like, I don't get it. Is it that you want me to? He said, no, that he does not want to marry me. Oh. At this point, I was shocked. I was like, are you kidding me? He was like, no, he does not want to marry me. He just wants me to have his children. That he wants just two kids. And at this point, I was confused. I didn't know how to react here. I was like, you want me to have your children? He said, yes. I was like, based on what? Like, it was not like he would give me everything I need, that all I need to do is have his children. And this guy knows I came from a very comfortable family. So for him to look at me and feel like that's a deal for me, I could not even understand it. So I was like, okay. But like, no, that it's not that he likes me, like he likes me, but mentally he's not in that state to get into being in a relationship, and he does not even want relationship again. He just wants children and then live his life. It was like, and that he wants me to have his children, that I'm going to have the children abroad, that once I have the children, and I still want to stay. I can still want the children. They are 4 years. It will pay me off, pay me real good, settle me real good, and that is it. I'll go live my life. It's not going to interrupt my life. I should just go. I was like, I was confused with the whole thing. I didn't know how to react. I was like, by the time he finished saying it, I was like, what is this guy saying? You just want to have kids with me. like he will settle me, that I'll be made for, okay, the word he used is that you'll be made for life. And I was like, but I'll be made for life. I didn't understand that feeling anymore. So I didn't know, at that time I didn't understand what I was feeling. I didn't know if I was angry, if I was flattered. I didn't understand what I was feeling at that time. I was just like, me. It's not as if you want me to be a baby mama. You want me to have kids for you, give you the kids, and go live my life. And at this time, I was in my early 20s. So I was like, okay, oh, I could not get my head around it, guys. I was confused. I just sat down there for a moment, like, let me go finish my line. I'll be right back. Like, I can apply my mascara and talk, and I can apply my liner and talk. So I had to do that off camera. So, no lashes today. I didn't know exactly what to feel, what to say, how to even my thought process. I just sat down there for a while. But the only thing that just kept ringing in my head was baby making machine. That was all that was ringing in my head. I'm using my Michelin palette, guys. You can see this palette is well used, well loved, and well beaten. So I'm using the highlighter here to highlight. So I was just like, this guy look me finish. Now baby making machine now look like. And I was just looking at him. And he keeps trying to calm me down, like, no, it's not what you think. Just, it's not a big deal. Like, how, like, well, like, I don't, okay. Another thing he said, that, hey, why am I skipping? Another thing he said that I don't have to tell my dad that once I have the kids, it would be on a low low for the two of us. My dad does not have to know that I have any kids. None of my friends have to know. All they will know is that I'm abroad and all that. And I was like, hey, see me see life. Inside life. And I was just looking at him. The more I look at him, the more I noticed I was getting angry. And then I said to him, I was like, the only thing you think I am good for is to be a baby making machine. And I was like, no, no, no. And I was like, why did you think I am fit for this kind of thing? And he was like, he knows me already, that I want somebody he knows. He wants his children to have good genes, good, that he can't just do it with a random person. I was like, hey, Destiny, see your life? That's what I was just telling my head. I was like, I'm a baby. You want me to be a baby making machine? Ha ha. Have two kids for you, and then that is it. I'll go and live my life like I don't exist, or they don't exist. What is I don't like they don't exist. I'm using the highlighter for everywhere I need to highlight Joe. So I told him I was like, after a moment I was angry. I was like, you know what, I'm leaving. And I told him that it's so sad that this is how you see me, or this is what you think I am good for, and this is what you wish for me. I like, this is the least thing I expected from you. And I told him I want to leave. So I left. I came down from the car and I went home. And days after, he was calling me like it's not like that. I was like, it's not like what? I don't like me. I don't even understand what he was calling for. I'm like, it's not like what? I don't understand. There's really nothing to say. At least on my own end, there was nothing. And by the time I got home, this thing affected me psychologically because I just felt I am worthless. Like, oh, this is what people see me at. Like, I don't matter. Like, I'm not good for anything but nonsense stuff. So it really affected me psychologically because I could not understand why he picked me. Even though he said, oh, it's for good genes, but still does not make sense to me. I don't know if I make sense. Still did not make sense to me. And for a long time, I was second guessing myself and everything. And even when I meet guys, I'm second guessing myself. like you're not good enough. They are just going to use you and dump you and all that. So it really affected me. I thought little about myself. I wasn't sure what I want in life and all that. But after a while, he keep calling like he's sorry, he's not like that. But the thing is that I didn't want to talk to him again. I didn't want to have anything to do with him. And then I didn't pick his call, I didn't call him, and that was it. I've never heard from him since that day. That day was the last day I spoke to him one on one, and that was it. I'm using my favorite lip balm by LA Color in Doll Face. That's all I have in my lip. So, guys, that was how somebody wanted me to just be a baby making machine. But I could not understand. I know there are guys and there are people that are crazy like that. Do you think I should have taken that deal? Like, do you think it was a good deal? But for me personally, that was not how my life is. I've always wanted to marry, and I've always wanted to marry for companionship. So I just don't want to do anything for random. I had always believed in love and all that. So this thing coming from this guy just threw me off guard and all that. But that is it. That's my story time of how a friend of mine asked me to be a baby making machine. So if you like this video, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. If you like such story time, let me know down in the comment section. I know this is not the most organized story time ever because this is my first time and it's weird, okay? But give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Deuces.